Hello. What I want to do today is introduce the benefits and the importance of slang with bookmaking and prices. Obviously we've covered the tic-tac, but the tic-tac was for fairly long distance operation. Slang was close. If you had a clerk standing behind you or the tic-tac was right behind you, it was no use showing out any tic-tac signs. So what we would do, we would use obviously slang that was particularly important for those prices. What we'll do after then, we'll move on to slang that was in the general run-of-the-mill that we use for bookmakers. But at the moment what we'll do, we'll stick just to the prices and the slang. Okay then, we'll go straight down from evens to 50 and bring in the back slang with the prices. Even money, straight up. 11 to 10, bits. 5 to 4, wrist. 6 to 4, half arm. 7 to 4, full arm. 15 to 8, double clap. 2, bottle. 9 to 4, horns. 11 to 4, legs to rope. 3 was a carpet. I'll stop at 3 because it was significance. It was most important why a carpet. In Victorian times, if someone was sent away for a short prison sentence, they would take 3 months to actually make a carpet for their cell, and that's how it filtered through. So 3 was always a carpet. 7 to 2, carpet and a half. 4 or 4 was rope. Now that's simple enough. It's a back slang. It's a reversal of the spelling. So is 5, Ebif. 6, Exis. 7, Nevis. TH for 8. In for 9. 10, Cockerel. When we got to 12, 14 and 16, we in the olden days obviously used to pay the bits, so we would give the fractions. So 12 was always 1 to 8. 14, 1 to 7. And 16, 1 to 6. 20, obviously a score. 25, a pony. 33, double carpet. And 50 was nifty. In the 40s and 50s, cash, the signs for cash wasn't so important. But we did used to show things like half for 50 pence. It's 50 pence now. We also used to show anything less than that. We would show the collar, which was white. In other words, 25 in the white would be to the old 2 and 6pence, that well before your time. We would then show a nicker, a pound, jacks, a fiver, tenner, cock and hen, and a pony, exactly the same, and then 50 was nifty. When I started to plan and write it all out of the slang words that I'd used over the 55 years, there was that many that I realised that basically they were from all over the country, from the things I'd heard in Ireland, in Scotland, and they're not really relative to the racing game as such. So what I want to do, I want to just give you a few slang words that I was taught as a boy and grew up with them, that they were appertained to the actual racing game. For instance, pulling your horns. Now pulling your horns, I hope you know that, because that is to stop and don't chase. Certainly don't chase. That's an important one for all of you. When a rick was a mistake. A rick bet was also like a person who called a bet that was fictitious. That was a rick bet. A slip reef, probably you know what that is, slip reef. In the olden days, in the 40s and 50s, people used to go around with machinery that they could duplicate a betting ticket. And they would slip a brief in and obviously try and draw before the actual winner himself come to collect his money. A snowball, that's a good one. A snowball is a bookmaker who goes to the races with no money, bets on the first race, and if he loses too much money, he'll snowball into the second race by betting early, hoping that during the day he gets a good result, and he can snowball right the way through. And I've seen that happen 2 or 3 times. You obviously know what a sleeper is. A sleeper is a winning combination of money that they don't collect. Bookmakers love that. It amounts to a lot of money over the course of a year. Turnover. It's obviously, you'd think it was a straightforward turnover would be a slang for the take, but it's not. It's a bookmaker who actually turns one of his clients over by ringing a bet from one horse that he backed to another one. That's died out probably 20 or 30 years ago. A topper. A topper is a bookmaker you can't beat. I mean, he'll keep topping you all the time. If you go 6-4, you go 7-4. If you went 7-4, he'd go 2-1. Hooked up. Hooked up's the racehorse, obviously, that's not trying. A gym. Gym's a good one. To gym it in at the races is to, obviously, get round the entrance fee in some way. By either borrowing someone else's membership badge or just actually walking up and just walking past and ignoring everybody. A flimp. To flimp is to actually bet very small, to knock people back. If they ask for 50 quid, you bet them £25. A lot of bookmakers on the internet now at the moment are flimping. Joe Rookie is obviously back slang for bookie. A backhanded G. That's a good one. Backhanded G is someone who comes up and gives you a pat on the back and sort of tells you how good you are, but you don't really mean it. A cake. Well, a cake in the olden days was obviously a wad of money that was fictitious. It was you would get probably 20 or 30 pound, and inside there was a toilet roll. Those are the sort of things that I would grow up with, but there's so many, and I will put them on my blog in the next few days if anybody wants to read them. Okay, now there was a little tie-up when someone sent me an email asking me what would happen if a tic-tac wanted a drink. Well, what they would do, they'd have somebody on the ground floor and they would be showing to them, and they'd show 2 gins, 1 Guinness, 3 packets of Walker's crisps and a pop. We've gone through quite a bit in the videos that we've done. Obviously the tic-tac signs, the back slang that goes with the tic-tac signs, and other things. I hope I haven't bored you, and I hope you find it enjoyable. What I want to do in the next few weeks, I want to put some real informative videos up. And what I really like are the betting coups that have taken place over the last 200 years. Some amazing ones. And there was one that's called Trodmore Hunt in the late 1800s, I think it was 1890, where they just cocked up a fictitious race card, fictitious race course, and managed to get the results and the runners into the local newspaper. It wasn't the Racing Post at the time, I think it was called the Sportsman, I'm not sure. And of course they carried out an amazing coup. But that was before my time. The first one I ever really noticed was the it was called the Francescal case at Bath, when they cut the telephone wires. That was a good one. But what I've done, I've managed to sort out 3 really good coups, 2 greyhound coups and a horse coup. And what I want to do, I want to do a video of them in order of what I think of the merit. In other words, we'll start off with the Dagenham coup, then we'll go on to the Rochester coup, which was amazing, and we'll finish up with the best coup I've ever known in my life, and that was Gay Future. So give me a bit of time, and perhaps in the next week, fortnight, we'll come up with a real good video for you to enjoy. Thank you. Cubone.